Welcome. Welcome to the show. Keeping up with the Targaryens. I was doing this voice just a second ago, and I thought I'd stop it by the time the show started, but here I am. I'm still doing it. Steven? Should I stop it?
No.
Welcome to episode 5 of Keeping Up with the Targaryens. This is our House of Dragons recap show. With me today, Steven Zerwinski.
Yeah.
Zerwinski.
Okay.
Sir.
It's all good.
Zerwinski. And of course, shout out to B-Comp, our father, our light, our beacon of Hightower.
I wore green.
You wore green?
Oh my God, you wore green.
We miss you, buddy. I'm sure you're not watching this. I'm sure you're just asleep. We are doing these shows every week. If this is your first time joining us, we recap the episode that just aired the night before. We're trying to be timely. We're trying to be on the ball. There's a big episode to talk about.
It's a really big episode.
Really big episode. What did they call this episode? We Light the Way. Speaking
the way.
of the Hightower, that's their saying, I think.
Yeah.
We're going to get into it, but first your thoughts on the episode as a whole.
I mean,
likes, dislikes, critiques.
I really enjoyed this episode. Again, with last week's episode, 2 for 2 in, I don't know, baseball terms. So I'm assuming that's what you
in
say.
In terms of likes? 2
in
for
terms
2?
of likes?
Yeah. Yes. But can I just say, fantastic show.
It's
I'm waiting for a miss.
Spoiler alert, really enjoyable.
Spoiler alert, guys. This could be one of the best shows on TV right now. I know we all didn't want it to be this good, but we all just kind of forgot that we hate this brand.
Yeah.
And we don't really, it turns out we don't really
They convinced us really quickly. And I feel like there was stats released that for all the talk about how tired we were of how the last one ended, in the weeks leading up to this, Game of Thrones was the most watched thing on HBO Max. So it's
the older
I guess
series.
We're kind of hearing about it all the time. We were in the minority a bit.
I think people do this thing where they want to be part of the cool club and they say it sucked, but we'll go back to it for comfort. Do you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of what's happening with me in Cyberpunk, which is a completely separate thing. But the anime is bringing me back in.
Oh,
I'm gonna go back and play this game. It's
It came out last week.
Okay, all right.
We should do a separate pod on it.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this show. I think this show is exactly what I needed right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely taken over my Sunday nights, which is all I really want from an HBO.
Yeah.
It's take over my Sundays, Daddy. Show me where to sit. Tell me what to watch. And it's, I'm glad I don't. Normally, I would go see my parents on a Sunday and go have dinner with my family and engage with them.
Not anymore.
Not for these 10 weeks.
Hell no.
Completely forgot. I haven't seen my parents in 2 weeks. And if I do, I have to see them on a weekday.
Yeah.
We're back to
Would they
appointment
watch Game of Thrones?
Do they what? What's
Would they
that?
watch Hot D?
No.
No.
They watch the news. They watch local news. So they know they know when there's a local restaurant is having an anniversary, and when there's a brush fire, and that's about it.
I wouldn't know where to watch local news.
Yeah, it's just
I'll be
KCAL
100%
9,
Oh,
Fox 11,
wow.
KTLA.
I was moving this weekend and paused unpacking to watch and then went back to unpacking.
This is
I needed the time.
so fun to not have a binge.
It was a good.
It's a week to week thing,
Yeah.
And I'm in a sea of binging. This is something that I really enjoy the pace of because it gives me a week to digest. I consume a lot of ancillary content around each episode, podcasts or what have you. I watch our episodes over and over.
Oh,
because I think we're very knowledgeable and we're worth listening to.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would agree.
John's laughing over there.
John, you guys
John,
stop
if it's
laughing
not
at
true,
us.
why are we live right now? If it's not true, why are we live?
I wanted to propose something to you.
Yeah.
Since we're halfway through.
Yes.
And I'd love it if you joined us all the time. But if you have a real job, which you do, and you can't make it, I want to give whoever sits in this seat and myself something to measure on a point system on what makes a good Hot D episode.
Ooh, great.
Okay?
Yeah, I love that.
And so, Lena,
Yes.
I want to run this by you too, and then chat. I want you guys to help sort of cultivate this list. I have come up with a list of things of when they do appear in the episode, we assign a point value to, and at the end, we will tally all these points, and if they break a certain threshold, it'll be deemed a good episode, providing an analytical, mathematical approach to this show.
I love that.
I'm going to run you through my list.
Do you want me to put the list in chat for people to see? Or
Yeah, put the list in the
Yeah.
chat, but know that this is a rough draft, and I want to use today's episode as a way to finalize it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
like all science.
This is
it's
a
about
working
testing.
document.
Yeah.
This is about testing. This show's a test. This list is a test. Okay? Now, every episode, there will be certain things that we deem to be a cool thing, right?
Yes.
So part of the thing here is assigning the right point value to it. I haven't added anything that would detract, like take away points. So that would be something for you to think about, the chat to think about. But I'll start with my list, okay?
Yes.
Anytime there is death in the show, plus 1 point.
1 point.
Absolutely.
Anytime there's death of a principal character, plus 3 points.
Yeah. Those
Okay.
can stack sometimes too.
When you absolutely, and
Yeah.
when you think of all the best episodes of Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
we lose a principal character typically in those episodes, right? Sex, plus 1.
Okay.
I'm whatever on sex.
Yeah.
Incest, on the other hand, there's a big sigh from Lady Lena over there. Just hear me out on that. I just need you to hear me out, Lena.
Okay. I'll listen. I'll
Save
listen.
the sighs, okay?
Okay.
Stuff them in a sack.
Okay.
Incest, plus 1.
Okay.
Erotic incest, plus 2.
Okay.
I
And
like
there
that.
is a difference. Lannisters making it with each other, brother, sister, plus 1.
Yeah.
And by the way, I am assigning pluses to incest because it is all we ever talk about when it happens. We can't turn away when it happens. It is salacious, and it is what makes this show, these shows.
Very true.
All right.
Erotic incest is what I would attribute to Rhaenyra and Daemon. They just can't keep their filthy little disgusting hands off each other.
Yeah.
She's
Got that
doing the bite motion at him.
new relationship energy.
They've got NRE.
And they got NRE.
That's plus 2.
The amount of tweets I saw last night of
Yeah.
people lusting after Damon and Rhaenyra's chemistry in that ballroom,
Yeah. Yeah.
alarming.
There was a lot.
They were being very public.
Yeah.
Moving on. Dragons. For every 10 seconds of dragon, plus 1 point. Now, this is where I'm open to interpretation. Chat, if you think you've got a better system. I think I have a good point system, but if you think it's better, please make your case. Exclamation point Q. We'll send over your comment or question over to Lena. Lena will then relay it to us, okay?
I like a 10-second thing. I think Dragon Skulls, though, no.
Dragon skulls are fine, but that's part of a set dressing
Yeah.
production. I don't count it. So 10 seconds of dragons gets us plus 1 point. This episode, by the way, had 26 seconds of dragons.
That's a lot of dragons.
It wasn't fun dragon though.
And I think they might have been dragons we haven't seen before, too.
Yeah, we'll get into
Yeah.
that because I need some clarity on that. Dragon roasting a principal character, plus 3 points.
A principal character.
A principal character.
Okay.
We haven't seen that yet,
We haven't.
but that's going to be plus 3 points. A battle, plus 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that being a little bit less because
because battles
can stack into the other ones, or
Yes.
else there's no stakes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you can stack a bunch of these in a battle.
Yeah.
Pregnancy/birth, plus 1.
Okay.
Yeah. Agreed.
Agreed.
Oh, you know what? I have to type this in now. I'm going to add miscarriage,
Ooh.
plus 1.
Plus 1.
Out of context, the worst thing anyone's ever said.
Abortion, plus 1.
Abortion plus 1, yeah.
Abortion T, where does that factor in?
Well, if the abortion T leads to an abortion, that's plus 1.
Okay.
Okay? We don't know
If
what
it's
happens yet.
unclear, it just doesn't make the score.
Jeff, just a reference, 0. We see a little carafe, a mug,
Yeah.
plus 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
You
fair.
got to see it.
We got to see the carafe. Wedding, plus 2.
Yeah.
Because again, they stack.
They're big affairs.
Big affairs, always something bad happens.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we can count on seeing a few of these other things in there with a wedding. But just the wedding itself, +2. A joust, +2.
Yes.
Potentially somebody's going to get maimed, injured, killed. Viserys losing an appendage. That's a +1.
Very specific to this
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a finite count on those. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure bodies have a finite number of appendages.
There is only, I don't know. I mean, I guess if each finger, toes,
Yeah.
do you count like lesions on his back?
I don't know. I think also like his arm was entirely
Oh my
messed up
God.
this time. Does that count? I think revealing a new messed up Viserys thing
Great. A new
is a sub
a new deterioration.
a new deterioration. Yeah.
We have clarity
This
on
and
what's
game.
going on with him, by the way. Patty
Considine.
Considine says that it's leprosy.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh.
We were guessing up until
Yeah.
this point. It was leprosy. We'll get into that a little bit later. I already put battle. Viserys was a pendant. I put battle in there twice. You put, Lena, brother scenes?
I did not add that. Did you add that?
Did I put
Steven?
brother scenes?
I did not
You-
add that.
Kassem, did you do that?
Did I put brother? Because now I don't know what brother scenes means.
Is it just Damon like
Or
doing whatever he wants and Viserys being like, "Oh, okay."
Man, it could be.
Yeah.
It could be the amount of times Viserys pretends to be mad at Daemon and then lets him back into the family.
Lets him do whatever he wants.
So that's all I have. Now, we're getting some in from the chat that Lena is adding to the Google Doc as we speak. From Twitch, Gunpie Yeah Boy says, +5 for a Starbucks cup.
Oh yeah, that's rare.
That's a rare
That's
one.
And if
Rare.
that happened in this show,
yeah,
actually it may be worth more. If it happens in this
Right.
show,
Yeah.
because they
Yeah,
know
that's
they
worth
made
a
that
10.
mistake. They're looking for them.
Yeah.
They're looking for a thing. There was a screw up where they forgot to greens key out 2 of his fingers.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But that's less
okay.
egregious
Yeah.
than a Starbucks cup.
Yeah.
Exterminator 13 says +3 for full dong. Oh, you know what I said?
Agreed.
Brother scenes at autocorrect. It's supposed to be brothel scenes.
Brothel
scenes.
Yes, this makes sense to me.
Brother scenes.
Brothers.
And I do have a brother, and I don't expect him to show up in this show. Full dong +3. That's a lot. And Exterminator, that says a lot about you.
That's like
Okay.
a once a season thing though, I feel.
Yeah.
Let's just roll it up into brothel. Because in the
Okay.
brothels, I expect to see full dong, exposed breasts, bosom,
Or-
ass.
Or like is this erotic dong or is this comedy dong? Because
There's a
they've
difference.
done both in
Now, when
Game
you
of
say
Thrones.
erotic dong, you're talking about full-on blood-filled tumescent penis?
I guarantee they cannot show that.
Too
What
messy.
show did I just see a
That has
boner
one?
in? It was a
Oh.
recent show.
I mean,
And it
I'd
wasn't
love
me
to
just
know.
Googling in incognito mode. It wasn't a show. I did see, it was the first time I saw it, and I was like, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
We
on
might
TV.
need to figure that out over the break.
I'm gonna Google
beep.
that on my.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Just real quick, Nigel Tenhagen says ×2 multiplier for multiple dragons. Now, we've seen a lot of dueling dragons. I think we have to talk about that. That's not a bad idea, but the multiplier could really throw the whole, it could weight the whole thing out of whack.
Yeah.
We'll get into kind of what this episode rated when we get back and more of your point suggestions when we come back after break. Keeping up with the Targaryens. Stay tuned. Welcome back. During the break, we took the opportunity to add up this episode's points based on our new House of the Dragon point scale. Are we getting any new suggestions for points, or do you think we can
Let's see if
kind of lock it in?
let's see if we got any more.
So far, our episode landed at a 7.6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we deem a good episode. How many?
I'd say 6, because this was a good episode.
This is a really good episode.
a really good one. Yeah.
And without any major characters dying off, I think that's solid. Now, as we go along, we'll have to maybe revise this, but right now, 6 is the barrier to be considered a good House of the Dragon show. This scored a 7.6. The 0.6 came from the 26 seconds of dragons flying around that I had to sit there and do a little stopwatch on.
Is it?
We,
oh, wow.
Yeah, it was easy.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's-
it took me a minute.
We did get our first negative point suggestion.
Oh, let's hear it. What's a negative point suggestion?
It was -2 if they say the king is dying in an episode, but he doesn't die.
Oh, -2.
And that's from Noodle_brew on Twitch.
I don't know. I
would
kind
say
of like
that's
the
severe.
foreshadowing.
It's severe. Yes.
I kind of like that everyone's just making their plans as if he's going to die, and he just keeps on holding on. I think that's
Yeah.
just plot.
Well, it is.
that
It
point.
has served as a bit of misdirection for me so
Yes.
far, because when they showed the coming up next
Yeah.
Yes.
episode, I'm like,
did.
this effer's still going.
It
10
did.
years later?
I tweeted a picture of him from the preview.
Oh, he's looking rough.
He looks. This is what it should look like when you are a product of incest. This is what they should be advertising.
Yeah.
Instead, everyone's like bleach blonde, hot,
Well,
sleek, slender. Looks like they swim.
yeah. There was that tweet, like the first episode about Matt Smith, where there was like, Matt Smith is perfect to play Targaryen because he's got those looks that are hot, but maybe could be the result.
Yes. He does have, like, his eyes are so deep
Yes.
that people are trying to hide bodies in his eye sockets.
Yes.
His eyes are so far back
stunning glare,
that they're in
too.
1980. That's how set back they are.
Yeah.
His eyes just saw JFK get assassinated. That's how
Wow.
far back his eyes are.
I'm going to pretend I know what year that was.
1967, 9.
63.
63?
11,
Three.
22,
What-
63.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. The
The novel and the show
and the
adaptation.
and the show.
Should we talk about the episode?
Yeah, let's.
I'm glad we got that out of the way. Now, on the following episodes, we'll be able to just bang this out. And it's open to revisions. And maybe we'll throw this point scale up on our Discord. Make sure you visit our Discord, discord.gg/G4TV. Or go to our Reddit, r/G4TV. This episode starts with the first thing on our list, a +1 death.
Yes.
This is Lady Rhea Royce. This is the wife that we've been talking about all season, but we have yet to see.
I was initially glad to see her.
So glad,
Yeah.
so glad. And what did we know about her? She's strong.
He just kept on saying she's like mean to me.
All he said was she was mean and she was ugly, because
Yeah.
he mentioned that the sheep were more attractive than the women down
Something she knew about because she called him out on that,
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
saying like
Word got
Oof.
back.
rough.
Did he marry her because she was like a safe person to marry and not feel any?
He definitely
attraction
had to
or-
marry
I think
her.
he had to marry her.
Okay.
He was
For sure.
It was part of some deal. They're at the Vale, by the way, right?
Yeah.
This is the Vale. This is where in the Game of Thrones series, people would get thrown out the bottom of it.
Yeah, it's one of the I believe one of the other castles there, Runestone versus the Erie, but
Okay.
the same
this is the same area.
area. Yeah.
Great clarification. Because every time they show a castle, I gotta Google this shit because I have no idea.
I was like, I definitely haven't seen this one before.
Yeah.
It was a little boxy one.
Yeah. So he sort of, it's like he shows up to kill her, and this is a big moment from the show, so we can spend a little
Yeah.
bit of time here. He shows up not to like, she thinks, oh, you're going to consummate your marriage, right? Finally.
Finally.
This gives us some information that Daemon, as horny as he may seem at sometimes towards his own niece,
Yeah.
doesn't like it with a regular.
No.
Won't make it with
No.
a non-blood related person.
Oof.
Maybe he's just got a very specific fetish.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that it feels like one of those things where, I mean, no, it doesn't feel like one of those things, but I feel like that was kind of a subtext in Game of Thrones as well of like the weird thing of like, oh, it's our duty to be attracted to each other, like,
Yeah.
oh, like
For the
later
crown,
Viserys
stepbrother.
and yeah, like later Viserys and Daenerys, like he was like, I'm marrying you off, but also I'm gonna be like flirtatious while I do it. So it's like they almost have to go so hard into it, or else it won't happen naturally.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like part of the belief that the Targaryens have in themselves, like the manifest destiny of it all. It's like they believe that they are the best of the
Yeah,
best.
they're like,
so
who's
then why
hotter
wouldn't they
than
be
us?
attracted to each other too? They're the most attractive
Yeah.
people. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's all
That's a great point.
drinking their own Kool-Aid.
Matt Smith's eyes are so far back that they watched MLK's I Have a Dream speech, but also were there for the printing press revolution.
Oh, that was
That's how far back
1593.
they go. I'm telling you,
I'm
they
right
could
about
even
that.
go further back.
Love it.
Elon Musk is currently boring a tunnel through Matt Smith's eyes to get Teslas through at but guess what? There's a traffic jam.
There's a traffic jam.
The boring company. So he kills her.
Yeah.
In the book, I believe that this is made to seem like he has an alibi, but it's insinuated that he is the one that causes her death.
Yeah, the showrunner had a really fun take on that.
Yeah.
Where he said the fact that this sentence was kind of put in there with no context made him really think, where it's like, why would you put this in here unless there's something deeper to read into it?
Right.
And that Daemon killed her. I think like the director also pointed out, like the big question of it was that she was trying to portray was that his plan, or did he just see an opportunity? Because he's very impulsive. He's so impulsive.
Yes, he can be impulsive, and it seems like premeditated at times. So
Yeah.
it's hard to gauge
You
kind of
can't
where
tell.
you can't gauge. So while this is happening, Rhaenyra, Viserys, Kristen are all on their way to Driftmark to make a deal with Corlys and Rhaenys.
Yeah.
To propose, they strike a deal to marry off Rhaenyra to their son, Laenor.
Later.
And it's kind of a fun scene where they arrive and Corlys isn't there, and it's like there's a little bit of like it's all the little stuff. It's like the niceties or the sort of rude moments
Yeah.
that like to us don't matter, but they mean the world to these
It's all
people.
Yeah.
symbolic to them.
It's so symbolic because that's all they have.
And I liked at
They don't
the
have
end-
computers. They don't have iPhones.
Yeah.
All they can do is just do symbolic gesture towards each other.
Yeah.
And it's a fun scene where they've got to talk about, well, what's going to happen with the names?
Mm-hmm.
What do they propose here? I think there's a line here. Okay, so Corlys is like, well, will they be Valerian or will they be Targaryen? And they came upon a compromise, which was, well, when Rhaenyra and Laenor have a kid, upon their birth, their kids will be Valerian, but when their firstborn takes the throne, he will be named as a Targaryen.
Yeah.
And they seem to be okay with that.
They seem to be okay with that, but I think that's a big mistake on Viserys' part. Like,
Let's
he's
hear it.
the king. He should not be giving any
Yeah.
ground on that. The fact, like, even at the end, they're like, we kind of pushed him hard, right? Like, did we push him too hard? And they're like, eh.
Right.
Like, I think he's not necessarily a bad person in that he is always trying to compromise, but that's not his job, isn't to compromise,
Right.
especially among his own subjects.
Yeah.
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 He's a bit of a pushover.
He's a little bit of a
Viserys.
pushover.
Yeah, he accepts the
Yeah.
slight at the beginning. He just says, let's get this over with. The
Right.
first thing he says when he walks in isn't like, why'd you stand me up? He just said, oh, what a beautiful home you have. Like,
Yeah.
he just like is so willing to compromise in a way that later they remark upon. Like he has his, well, we'll get to it later, his big scene where he's wondering about his legacy.
Yeah. Yeah, and he wants to know whether or not people will think he's a good king.
Mm-hmm.
So they make this deal. Cuts to Laenor Rhaenyra taking a nice little stroll on the beach, where Rhaenyra is essentially telling him the same thing that Daemon told her, which was, look, let's just do our duty to the realm. Let's get hitched.
Mm-hmm.
But let's also dine and feast on our own appetites when we're done.
Yeah.
And this is the first sort of indication to me that Laenor has some other interests.
Yes.
That he's not necessarily pumped to be marrying Rhaenyra.
Which I kind of like, because everyone so far has been like stumbling over themselves to try to get married to her. I do think it's hilarious. Not hilarious, but she ends up with the one person who's like, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my girlfriend clocked this sooner than I did. She's like, oh, he's gay. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
I
And then
mean,
next scene, he's rolling around in tall grass with his boyfriend,
Yeah.
His boyfriend Joffrey.
Joffrey.
Yeah. Bad luck.
What an
to-
Interesting
unfortunate
name
in this
choice.
bad wedding
Yeah.
Yeah.
stuff with people named Joffrey.
Yeah, just not a good combo. We should put anyone named Joffrey in our point system. We should go back.
Yeah.
We'll figure it
Add
out.
to Joffrey point.
So he's got his own little guy on the side.
Paramore, yeah.
Yeah, Paramore. That's a fun. It's not just a band, folks. It's a word. Matt Smith's eyes are so far back
How far back are they?
that he observed man creating fire for the first time. Kristen and Rhaenyra are on a ship now.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Kristen, he's shooting his shot. This is what the kids call shooting a shot.
He really does.
It's also been like 2 days since they first slept together.
This is the shortest time between episodes that we've gotten yet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes. So he's shooting his shot. He says, look, how much do you like oranges and cinnamon? Let's run away together and go dance around and like go to Essos.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, I got a duty, Braj.
He really thought it would work too.
He
Yeah.
thought oranges
Took it
and
so
cinnamon
hard.
would sell it, would close the deal. Didn't work. She essentially rebuffs him and says, but look, I'll be married, but like you'll be my guy.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm not going to be your whore.
Yeah. I really liked her line too, where he's like, we can marry for ourselves, not for the crown. And she says, I am the crown. I was like, ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
that says it all right there. I love that.
She's buying into the hype.
Yeah.
She's giving the pushback Viserys couldn't,
That's right.
you know?
Yeah.
She's dropping a little Morbius here. Morbius? What's the guy from the Matrix?
Morpheus.
Morpheus.
But speaking of
It's
Morbius,
morphin' time.
Matt Smith.
Matt Smith
Is-
in Morbius. My point was being, she's beginning to believe. That's what I wanted to say. Instead, I
Gotcha,
said
yeah.
Morbius, which ties it into another Matt Smith project, where
Yeah.
another role where he's playing a guy with just set back eyes.
And great shirtless scene.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally forgot about that scene.
I've only seen that scene.
Send it.
I,
Send us your thoughts on Morbius. Exclamation point Q. We'll send your comment question to Elena. And if it happens to be about House of the Dragon, she'll send it on over to us.
Beep.
All right, so he gets mad. Now we start to see the sort of turning point in Sir Kristen's character where he's maybe turning a corner on his feelings for her. He feels so sort of taken advantage of. She popped his cherry. He's upset. He's been tainted. And that's all he has is his name and his, like, virtue. And,
Yeah.
And now it's all gone. That's how he sees it. Viserys collapses. He collapses when they get back.
every time he collapses, I think this is
This
This is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
Same.
happening
A
now.
scramble is starting right now.
Can we get this guy a walker? Can we get him a little tiny dragon to ride around on, like a little mobility scooter?
Mobility dragon.
Mobility dragon.
Aw.
This guy can't go 2 minutes without falling down or bleeding on something or losing some skin,
Yeah.
but
Beep,
yet he
beep.
manages to carry on. You
He's
know?
gonna outlive everyone.
Larys, son of the new hand of the
I think
king.
we got a little beeped.
We gotta go to.
Yeah.
Oh, we got beeped?
Yeah, we did.
I didn't hear. I don't have the headphones.
You don't have the headphones on.
Stay tuned. We're going to talk about Larys and his little his disability when we come back with more Keeping Up with the Targaryens right after this. Welcome back. Keeping Up with the Targaryens, episode 5. From the chat, this is why we do this live, by the way. And by the way, you can do !Q and send in your comment or question, which Love the Hate just did. And he said, can we name the point system to the Dragon Scale? All in favor of the Dragon Scale being the name of our official point system? Say aye. Aye. Congratulations.
Beautiful.
You're a producer on the show. And we will be letting you go tomorrow. Too soon. We all deal with it in our own way, guys. And we left off Larys, who is the club-footed son of the Hand of the King,
The brand new hand.
which is the brand new Hand, who has two sons. So Lionel is the Hand.
Yeah.
There's Larys, the club-footed weirdo.
Yeah.
And then there's Harwin, who they call Breakbones, because he's good looking,
He's
strong.
very
He's like
good-looking.
the strongest guy.
Mm-hmm.
So Larys is having a little conversation with Alicent, right?
Yeah, and he's not subtle.
No,
He's not subtle.
he's a little manipulative. It feels like
Yeah.
he's a little. You know these guys
He's like, yeah,
talk too much,
talk too much.
but he's ultimately got a motive.
Yes.
He's telling Alicent about the abortion tea,
Mm-hmm.
which if we had one in this episode would be +1 points.
We only have a mention of it.
We only have a
Not
mention
enough.
of it, and that's not enough for points.
Yeah.
And he's essentially sort of widening the divide between Alicent and Rhaenyra.
Yeah, which is really interesting. I'm wondering how much of this is coming from his father, because his father seems like a legit dude.
Yes. It doesn't seem like his father has any of the qualities that Larys has, and I was thinking about
Yeah.
this, and I wonder if Harwin is like the son he wanted, and Larys is like I can't kill this kid. I
Yeah.
can't throw him out a window. I'll just keep him around.
The Tyrion and Tywin
Yes.
of it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Larys seems to maybe have developed a lot of these qualities out of survival and maybe not directly influence from his father. Is how I interpret it all.
Yeah, agreed.
Alicent hears all this. She calls for Sir Criston. And Sir Criston, in one of the biggest bonehead moves,
What a dummy.
Oh my god.
she's about to ask him whether or not Rhaenyra and Daemon have had any kissy kisses. Oh, by the way, Joffrey, they call him the Knight of Kisses,
Yeah.
no.
which is not what you want to be called when you're a knight. But in this case, he's the Knight of
He's
Kisses.
the Knight of Kisses.
Kristen just comes out of nowhere with the rumors are true. I'm not going to let you finish. The rumors are true. I boned Rhaenyra.
And Alicent is so surprised she has to turn around.
Yeah. She was like, ooh, that was too juicy. She's got a little teary-eyed. And he's like, please just kill me.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I will beg for, is for just straight death
Instead of castration.
instead of, yeah. I mean, take the castration, by the way. If any of you out there are given the option, there is a life you can have. It'll be different, but your life is valuable, and you shouldn't choose death.
Like Varys
Like Varys
of the old
of the old
show.
You got
of
far.
the old show. So she takes that information, again, widening the divide.
I felt maybe it was a little less of a widening of a divide.
Oh, because she's not gross, and she was technically telling the truth.
yeah, she was like, she swore on her mother and she told me the truth. I felt like that was like a moment where she was ready to go further, faster.
Yeah, that's a great point. I totally buy into it. I think when I was watching it, I was like, man, if I was Alicent, I'd think of Rhaenyra as just a little like hussy, sleeping
Oh,
around.
she definitely thinks that.
Yeah, it's like, ugh, yucky. You know, this is technically my stepdaughter, and if she is, maybe I should hook up with her. Royal wedding celebration starts. Big celebration. This is +2 on our points on our
Yeah.
dragon scale. Enter Daemon. Why? How?
Just to prove that he can do whatever he wants and Viserys isn't going to stop him.
He did. He walks right in. He knows that he's not going to make a scene. His
Yeah.
brother's kind of a pushover, like we've said.
He just motions for a new chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, Viserys, good brother, forgiving. This is the type of guy you want in your family.
Yeah.
Cares about his daughter, cares about his legacy, but isn't going to like do anything rash.
Is friends with his daughter's friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very friendly.
Chose his unborn son over his old wife.
Yes.
Really sweet guy.
What a nice guy.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for making my point.
Exactly.
In one of the biggest moments of the episode, he starts a speech about uniting the houses.
Yes.
And then I may just be making this up, but there was a record scratch. It was like
Felt that way.
felt that way. In walks in Alicent in a green dress. Now, Steven, what the heck does that mean, and why is that something we should be paying attention to?
Well, as Larys whispers to Sir Harwin, when Old Town calls their banners to war, they change their lighthouse flame. I don't think they had lamps. Flame to green.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was an LED.
I mean,
Yeah.
what if that was the one
They have one. They
piece
discovered
of
LED
technology?
Matt Smith's eyes. Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, that was
How
it.
far back are they?
Matt Smith's eyes are so far back that they were there when the first single-celled organism crawled out of the ocean and popped out 2 little flipper flappers
Yeah.
and started evolving. That's how far back Matt Smith's eyes are. Tell me if the chat, by the way, absolutely hates me.
no, I
will
think
you?
they're loving
Okay,
this.
great.
Yeah, they're loving it.
Alicent signaling that she is, which is so weird to me. She's essentially wearing a green dress, signaling that she is at odds with the king or the family in
Yes.
some way, or is it sort of like in protest too? You know, her father was just cast out. She is upset, doesn't feel like she has any allies. is now it seems to be sort of like on the she doesn't care, she doesn't want to like be with Viserys really. She just bore all these children. Her kids could be under threat if Rhaenyra is queen.
Yeah.
Then her kids are technically in the way. She's gonna start making moves now,
Yeah.
and which is kind of what she's doing.
I think that was her showing what her final choice would be.
Yeah.
In that situation.
And her uncle's there.
her uncle says, "We stand with you."
We stand with you. Very fun next scene where Sir Gerald of the
Sir
Vale,
Geralt Royce.
yes, of
Yeah.
Royce. He's the uncle of Rhea or
Yes.
cousin. He's the cousin.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Let's
says
just go with it.
I trust you.
He goes, you know, where we come from, people pay for murder.
Yeah.
And Damon's like, who are you? I'm sorry, who are you? He's like, I'm the cousin of the woman you were married to,
Yeah.
and I think I am accusing you of murder. And Damon goes, oh, that's interesting. No, it's actually very tragic. I'm torn up about it. But by the way, I will be flying in to collect my inheritance.
Yeah, brutal.
That was so brutal. Even Viserys looks over like, wow.
Wow,
What a move.
You should be king. You're so good at this villain stuff.
Man.
Um,
I really thought that would, I wasn't sure how that was going to play out, but I wasn't expecting the full, not only just taking the hit on the chin, but turning it back around.
Yeah.
What a move.
What a move indeed. It seems like Damon can outmaneuver just about anyone and anything. He is consistently the most interesting person in any scene.
Yeah, he's got plans and plans.
There is a sort of a few scenes here that are kind of back to back to back, but they're all in this wedding ceremony. You've got Joffrey telling Laenor, hey, I think I've spotted. By the way, great detective work, dude.
Yeah, that was
He goes,
quick.
Sir Kristen, that's her guy.
Yeah, he's looking around and he's like, oh, that's the one other person that feels exactly the same way I do in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine just looking at someone who's just standing there like this.
Why is he the only one not wearing a helmet, too? They
Weird.
show other Kingsguard.
He's too good looking.
He's too
He's
good
too
looking.
good-looking.
We're going to put that hair under a
They must
helmet?
have a point
No.
scale for how hot you are in helmets and all this. He clocks Sir Kristen as Rhaenyra's paramour, goes over to be like, hey, dude, we got to keep our secrets. I know your secret. We got to keep a secret. That's our duty.
You got to team him up.
In one of the more confusing parts, and I guess if I were to critique a part of this episode, it was how aggro Kristen went
Yeah.
Yes.
on Joffrey.
Is there something we didn't see? Are we going to learn later? I don't know.
What is it exactly that he was so upset about? I understand that he took an oath and all he has
Yeah.
to his name is his oath and his honor and all this. And when I guess somebody else knowing that he has deflowered the soon-to-be queen, the princess, is that enough to make him want to end someone's life and bash their face into a bloody pulp?
I think just someone else knowing the secret is threat enough
Yeah,
to her, to him.
I
think
guess.
Also, this was like a window into knowing that this guy's got more anger under the surface that we
Yeah.
didn't know was there. I think we've all been thinking, oh, this is a nice, sweet knight who's just been watching after her. But I think
Yes.
there's something going on. Then maybe he's got an anger issues, more
Absolutely.
backstory. So I think that was this is how you know.
Great point. And I think the actor in a recent article, I think for EW, mentioned that Sir Kristen's a thug
Yeah.
that has been trying to button it up this whole time. He's been trying to be perceived and be straight-laced.
Yeah.
But underneath it all, like Ryan Gosling in that movie Drive,
Oh,
where he's just so
yeah.
cool on the surface, but underneath is a bubbling river of lava.
Get him into an
Yeah.
elevator and he's going to lose it.
That's right.
He's going to maybe kiss you, maybe beat you up.
Yeah.
Before he absolutely demolishes Joffrey, there's a scene where Rhaenyra and Daemon, in the middle of this whole thing,
So in the open.
so out in the open, so hot for each other. It's almost got a point for me on erotic incest. Now remember, we give 2 points for erotic incest. I'm almost inclined to give this a 1 point.
For just the plain. Yeah,
I mean,
I kind of.
She's like,
I
"Oh,
wouldn't
yeah?
be against it.
I'm not wed yet. I mean, if you wanted to, you could just take me away and marry me."
They get so close.
So close. And he does that thing where he grabs her, grabs her face.
Oh yeah.
Like, bro, people are out here and watching, and all people do is look and
And
gossip.
talk.
And Viserys sees it.
Oh,
Yeah.
he sees it.
He sees it, and he knows. But he can't do anything because he's literally falling apart. He goes berserker. Kristen goes berserker. But Laenor and Rhaenyra still have to have their ceremony.
Immediately.
Immediately. Now everyone's out.
got pushed
Food's
up,
on the
though.
tables.
Because it was supposed to be at the end of the week. And then
at the end of the 7-day celebration.
and they were like, oh no, we got to do this now.
Yeah.
And they do it, bloody-nosed.
Still bloody nosed.
He lost his lover, poor Laenor.
He's like sobbing as he says his vows.
Poor guy.
I mean, what a tough situation. But they are both doing their duty,
Yeah.
right? And outside, Kristen's out there about to commit harakiri.
Yeah.
Alicent goes, dude. She said this. She's from the show. Quote, dude, no.
No.
Dude,
Think
stop.
about this for a second, dude.
Stop, dude.
Stop, man. Freaking A, dude. Don't.
Just think.
That shit's pointy, man. So he doesn't commit suicide.
And we have a new team.
And maybe possibly a new team up, and we're going to get into
Yeah.
that in speculation. The episode ends with another Viserys drop.
Mm-hmm.
A rat feasting on the blood and the leftover face.
Just like at the end of The
The
Departed.
Departed.
Yeah.
What a fantastic scene.
And I've read that rat thing might be an allusion to something to come as well.
Oh, interesting.
And
Well, let's get into
Yeah.
the speculation
know what it
after a
is,
break.
but-
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what the next episode looks like. Heads up, it's a time jump of 10 years, and kind of where everyone lands during this and where we think alliances are and who's effing who and who's still around, who dies. So stick around. More Keeping Up with the Targaryens right after this commercial break. I think... Welcome back. Keeping Up with the Targaryens, Episode 5. We're almost done. Now, we just recapped the whole episode. We're going to get into our speculation, what we expect to come up in the show. A couple chat questions here. Exterminator asks, what are your feelings on the preview of the time jump? Do you think it'll be distracting with a mixed cast of old and new?
I personally, when I watched the To Come, that's not what it's called. I immediately clocked Olivia Cook playing Alicent, and then Phoebe Bridgers playing Rhaenyra. I think it'll match pretty well. I liked the casting of
Phoebe
these adult-
Bridgers, the musician?
Yeah, it's
She really
just
looks
with
like her.
the bleach blonde hair.
Okay, I don't know. Yes, okay, I see now.
I don't remember
Okay.
the actress's actual
I'll find her name.
But that was my first thought upon seeing her with the bleach blonde hair.
Will bet the show will find a way to make this clear for us.
Yes.
And not too confusing. They've done a great job so far.
Yeah, and they know that that's going to be such a sticking point. They're going to have some way to really help us.
Right. Let's see here. Goldblood 4X asks, when do you think Viserys is finally going to bite it? I mean, we know he's in the next one. He's aged up.
Every episode I would have said this episode, but maybe he's making it to the end. Maybe.
Gold-blooded seems to think maybe next episode. I mean, he's got to go eventually, but if not, like, boy, does that, like, really throw a wrench in everyone's plan?
You know what would, like, probably fit? It's just like a really tying off this season and saying next season's going to get crazy.
Yeah.
That would be my, like, safe bet is, like, either episode 9s, which are usually crazy, or
Right.
episode 10 of, like, this is what's going to happen next season. You
Yeah.
better buckle up.
Yeah. Let's talk about a little bit of what we can expect. Now, in the preview for the next episode, we see that Rhaenyra has a child, or even
Several?
is said that she might have 3 children.
Yes.
These children seem to have dark hair. Mm-hmm. So we're made to believe that her and Laenor aren't having
For sure.
the sex.
Yeah, there's even a line that says, like, eventually someone's going to notice what you're doing.
Yeah. And since her and Kristen are on the outs, supposedly, do we have any ideas of where those dark-haired children are coming from?
I think she was, rescued by. She calls Sir Kristen at the beginning her white knight. He ends up being a little like a dick, and who does actually save her at the end of the episode from the danger that Sir Kristen started.
You're talking about Harwin.
Harwin,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think Harwin's a good bet.
Somebody's got to notice.
Someone's gonna notice.
Someone posted a cool picture from the episode where she went into the forest and killed that wild hog and was like covered in blood.
Yeah.
When she returned to camp, there was like a shot of Harwin looking at her like, "Ooh, I'm excited by this."
Oh,
lady,"
really?
and like what she's capable of. So
That's
I
a
think that
great
might
call.
have been a little nod to what's to
Oh,
come.
very interesting.
I like that.
Just real fast. The Napoleon Blown Apart on Twitch asks, how many points for eye gouging? Now, this is good. Now, we're going to add this to the dragon scale. We can sort of like clarify what battle is. And I think there is room for eye gouging to be a +1.
Yeah, I think there are style points for how someone's killed.
Style points indeed.
Yes.
Let's add gouging. And guys, by the way, we're going to put this list somewhere online, probably in the Discord,
In the Reddit too.
in the Reddit. If you guys want to, in the comments, add to the dragon scale of what you think makes a good episode, and whatever gets upvoted, we will just add it to the dragon. This is a community-led project. So happy you guys have given us great ideas, including the name. What's Allison's plan now? So her and Sir Kristen Cole seem to be starting a team up.
Yeah, I think even if the kids are Sir Kristen's, then she's got like the biggest spy in her enemy camp. Like
Yeah.
in that case, the
Yeah.
biggest possible one.
It's it seems like her goal is to make sure Aegon becomes king.
Yeah,
and we see Kristen Cole training Aegon in the preview.
and he seems like a little mad kid too, like
He does.
angry.
He looks weird. He
does look
scares
very
me.
weird.
Yeah, he scares me. This
like
kid.
a blonde Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, very sharp faced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pointy. Damon and Lady Lena, looks like they got together.
Yeah, something's going on there.
something's gonna happen there.
Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're riding dragons together. It looks like in the preview. I really had to like watched the preview like 5 times and I kept pausing.
Which Lena was not riding one of the dragons in this episode. Her parents were.
Okay,
I believe.
Oh, that's a great. So in the shot of the wedding celebration, those 2 dragons were Corlys and Rhaenys.
I believe so.
Okay, because we saw a dragon we hadn't
Yeah,
seen.
one of the
It's
dragons
not clear.
was red like Daemon's, but different body shape from what I was seeing online. That was not me catching that.
We need
was
an
other people
encyclopedia.
catching
Yeah,
it.
thank you, other people. We need a thing that shows all the dragons and their names and who rides who.
Yeah.
Is Viserys? Oh, so we already went over. Viserys is still alive, at least for one more ep. He's deteriorating quickly.
Way bad. That's going to get us 1 point. We know next episode already.
Yeah. Well, principal character, 3 points.
Well, I mean, just for deterioration.
Oh, just for
yeah.
Oh, yeah. His whole
we
death
already can
could
put one.
stack.
Oh yeah.
His whole death could stack.
That
That's
would be
going to
4
be a.
4 points.
Depends on how
Imagine
many
if he
limbs
dies in
he
a fire, a
loses.
dragon fire. Ooh,
We do see
we could hit a record.
the end of the preview was one of Rhaenyra's kids saying Dracarys
Yeah.
very pointedly. Which
There's-
means that the dragons are smart. They recognize, you
Yeah.
know, they recognize that this kid is a Targaryen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was in the preview a mobility dragon, a tiny little dragon
There was a little one.
that looked like Rhaenyra's son was. At least they made it look like it was Rhaenyra's son's.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, because we get to see a small dragon growing up, I wonder if this is going to be the start of, we know that the Targaryen dragons, through inbreeding just like themselves, start to get really stunted in their growth as
Oh,
well. And I wonder
really?
if we
Ooh.
can start seeing like this is the first generation of like not as good dragons maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't even think
Yeah,
about
it's a
that.
great point, because
Dragon
where the-
incest.
Where
Yeah.
the dragons can't just
Yeah, and
go somewhere else and just start dating other dragons. It's usually the hey mom.
in Game of Thrones, they say that the last dragon that was born to the Targaryens was the size of like a puppy.
That's what we did
That's-
to dogs.
Oh my god.
That's what they did to dragons.
We destroyed wolves, turned them into
Chihuahuas.
snot-faced little pugs
Yeah.
that can barely breathe.
Uh-huh.
Wow. And they did that to
And
dragons.
they did it to dragons.
But could you just imagine
In
how
300
cool
years
it would
they
be to
did it.
have a little dragon? Like a little...
Well, if you get
So
the
Incest
so
baby
Dracarys
adorable.
app
I have
on your
it.
phone,
Oh,
it's
boy.
like having a little one.
Dracarys on the app. I think that's an episode.
Yeah.
Guys, very strong episode. Again, this landed in a 7.6 on our dragon scale. Go to the Reddit. Go to our Discord. I think we're going to post it on the Reddit for sure. Leave a comment of what you think should be included in the dragon scale. Let us know what you guys think of the show, our show. Hopefully, Steven will be back. Lena will, of course, be back. B-Comp, we miss you and love you as always. And we thank you guys for tuning in. Maybe we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Where are we going to
Excited.
find you?
I'm on Twitter at Stevia with 3 E's.
Figure out where those E's go. And I'm
One of them's
Kassem
not
G
where you
with
think.
1 E. And Lena, what's your Twitter?
My Twitter is LEYNUHPAWP, Lena Pop.
That's right.
That's it.
So follow all of us. Hope you guys enjoy and stick around. There's more show going on. I don't know what it is, but there's something else will, I'm sure, come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.